Savage Hippie. We are right smack dab in the middle of COVID-19 and we've been quarantined for about 3 weeks, and I know a lot of you have been doing a lot of baking and possibly your jeans are a little tight. I thought maybe now might be a good time to put some videos out for you guys and teach you a few new hobbies. Something other than eating, snacking, and baking. For those of you that don't know me, I've been making my own stuff for a very long time, for many years, and I started with candles. I didn't do any online videos. It was all done based on my own research. I didn't go to any classes or anything like that, and I went through a lot of different products, dumped a lot of stuff down the drain, and had my hiccups here and there. Luckily, you guys don't have to do that, because I'm going to show you how to do it. It's really a lot easier than you think. Making candles is not that hard once you know what you're doing. So I'll take you through what we're going to be using today. We're going to be making a 12-ounce Citronella candle made with essential oils. So this is Easter weekend right now, and we all know that bugs are going to be out soon. So I figured that this was the perfect time. Keep in mind, when you make candles, wax tarts, anything of that nature, they need at least 2 weeks to cure. So you don't want to burn your candles or melt your wax tarts for at least 2 weeks. It's like, think of it like an aged bottle of wine. It gets better with age. Same thing with a candle. So I'm going to take you guys through this step by step. I'll show you and explain to you exactly what I'm using, and I'll even give you the links to where I get all my stuff. So that's going to be down below. So make sure that you check that out. I can save you a lot of money there. So anyway, let's get to it. Candle making we go. But before we start, there's nothing better than a good glass of wine while you're making and creating. So guys, get yourself a glass of wine, whatever your beverage is of choice. Mine happens to be wine. And let's get making. Okay, so let's start off with what you're gonna need. I'm gonna go through this as slowly as I can. You can jot it down that way, or you can also, again, take a look in the description. So I've set up like a double broiler sort of thing. I just have a pot here with a little bit of water in it, and you can buy these pots at CanWax, which that link's going to be down below. You can also get it at Michael's and stuff like that, but you're going to pay through the nose for it if you do go that route. So in here I have measured out 10 ounces of soy wax. It's just like little pellets. I have Eco Soy Wax Q210. It's not really my favorite wax to work with, but I had some that I just wanted to use up and get out of the way. My new favorite is actually a soy coconut blend, which is really nice. It's a nice soft wax, and the softer your wax, normally the better your scent throw. So double broiler system going on here with 10 ounces of Eco Soy wax. I'm just using a container, an old container. I bought a candle probably years ago, I don't know. But I always wash them out and I like to reuse them for recycling. So I have a jar for my candle, and it also has a lid. Lids are kind of great, just so that the scent doesn't escape over time from your candle. It's nice to put a lid on it. I also have just a wooden spoon for mixing up the wax. Try to remember to always use the same stuff for your making. Don't reuse this for cooking. It's just for making stuff. I have a thermometer. We're going to need that to check the temperature of the wax. And then I have some wood wicks. Wood wicks are my favorite wick to work with. They're super, super easy to use, and you get that crackling fire-like sound when you burn your candle. So I love them, especially for outside. And since we're making a citronella candle, we're doing wood wicks. And then you have your wood wick clips. So this is basically how you're gonna hold it up in your candle. I'll show you that, of course. And I also have 1.5 ounces of citronella essential oil measured out. Now I feel like I need to warn you guys that essential oil, it's very costly to use in a candle because you do have to use quite a bit to get a good scent. But for those of you that want all natural and all that good stuff, it works. Fragrance oils, you will always get a better scent throw with those, and you can get paraben free and all that good stuff too. So you don't have to be limited to just essential oil. But let's get started. Before we set up our pot here, before we turn it on and get it going, we're going to set up our wick. So just in the wick clip for the wooden wicks, they just fit in nice and snugly. I just use one clip for two of the wood wicks, and just stick them in there, line them up, and make sure that they're nice and even. And the reason I'm doing 2 wicks is so that I get a nice even burn. One wick doesn't quite cut it. It doesn't quite burn all the way to the sides the way you would want. So a glue dot is really helpful here to stick on the bottom so that it sticks to the bottom of your jar. However, I am out of glue dots, but with the wood wick you can get away with not using it. I'm just using these wick holders here just to hold it safely in place. So just make sure it's nice and centered. And then that's it. Next, we're going to move on to heating up our wax. Just warming up the wax here, guys. Don't walk away from this. Be on top of it. You don't want your wax to get too hot. And, you know, while you're waiting for that, you can always drink some wine. Couldn't think of a better time. Once your wax starts to melt, this is a good time to put your thermometer in. You're going to want to keep an eye on the temperature. It's going to tell you when you can add your scent. So essential oils, you're going to want to add the scent quite a bit when the wax is cooler than you would for fragrance oils, because it does seem to, I don't know if saying that it burns off would be the correct way to put it, but through my experience over the many years of making candles, I do find that at higher temperatures, when you're adding your essential oil, you just don't get as good of a scent throw. Okay guys, to get my wax to completely melt, I'm at just about 160 Fahrenheit on my thermometer. So I'm just going to kind of stir that for a bit, and I'm going to bring that temperature down a little bit. I'm still waiting patiently, so I'm still drinking wine. Cheers, guys. Guys, I'm down to about 130 Fahrenheit. So now I'm going to drop my essential oil in. If you were adding any kind of dye to your candle, this is when you would do it. Use liquid dye. You don't want to use micas and stuff like that. They could quite possibly clog your wick. So be careful what kind of dye you use if you do use dye. I started out using a lot of dye when I first started, but I kind of have leaned more towards just liking the creamy white texture of just a natural soy candle. So we're going to want to stir this so that the scent binds to the wax. So you're going to want to stir it for a good solid 2 minutes or more. Another good time to take a sip of wine. Okay guys, I've been stirring for like a good solid 2 minutes, possibly even 3, and my temperature is getting down to about 120. which is the perfect temperature to pour your candles. So we're going to move into that and try not to make a mess doing it. Okay, I should be an expert at this now, so I shouldn't make a mess. We're just going to slowly pour it in. 120 is a good temperature to pour your soy wax because it hasn't started to solidify quite yet. If you wait too long, you're going to end up with air bubbles and stuff, and it just won't be very attractive because your wax is basically starting to harden. And that's it. Look, didn't even, oh no, I did spill a drop. No, I didn't. I didn't even spill a drop. Look at that. We're going to walk away from this, guys, and we're just going to let it harden. Make sure you don't knock the jar or anything like that. We've had incidences where stuff like that happens, but just walk away and let it completely harden. The candle has hardened up. As you can see, a nice milky white soy candle. This is going to be your best friend for clipping your wicks after your wax has dried. I've had these for a while, but I'm sure if you check on Amazon, you'll be able to find these. And you can see where the wick is a little bit wet here from the wax. That's basically like the wax and the scent going up into the wick. You're going to need that for lighting it, obviously. So you're going to cut just a little above that. And this is great because it's flat on the edge and makes it nice and easy to trim your wick. Oops, I'm not completely dry, but that's okay. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm just going to hold the wick. And there we go. And now remember what I said, guys. Don't burn this for another couple of weeks. Adding your fragrance oil is a little different than adding the essential oil though. So it's generally thicker than an essential oil. So you're going to want to add that at a little bit higher of a temperature. I generally add it at around 150 Fahrenheit. Depending on the fragrance oil that I'm using. If I'm using a citrus one, I might go a little lower than that. But general rule, about 150 degrees, and stir it for a good long time so that it binds to your wax. And again, don't forget, don't burn your candle right away. I know you're going to be super excited and you're going to want to burn it and you're going to want to know how it's going to work and all that good stuff, but be patient. Give it at least 2 weeks before you burn that candle. Remember, aged wine. Something also I should mention, I know at the beginning of the video I said that we were making a 12-ounce candle and I only put in 10 ounces of wax. That's because after I add the fragrance, essential oil in this case, after that gets added to it, then I'm roughly about 12 ounces. I only put 1.5 ounces of essential oil, but I do know through experience with this essential oil that that is plenty. That's all I need. Something else I wanted to touch base on for you guys as well is if you've never made candles before, you're just starting out and you're going to check out those links that I put down below and you're going to buy this stuff, you're going to make candles, because as you can see, it's really not that hard and it's a lot of fun. That's fantastic. Don't go crazy with how much you buy. You don't need to buy a 45-pound box of wax when you're just starting out, especially if you're just making it for yourself. Just, grab yourself 5 pounds. That would be a great starting point. You want to start off making about 8-ounce to 12-ounce candles, and that'll work out just fine. Now, your wicks, remember that your wicks have to be, in order to be suitable for burning, it has to be a suitable wick for the size of your jar. In order for your candle to burn all the way to the sides and not tunnel down in the middle, you have to have the right sized wick. So I'll leave a link down below for that as well. A chart where it's very easy to figure out. Most of the sites that I give you to get your supplies will have a wick chart anyway, but definitely be aware of that. If your wick is too small, then it won't burn all the way to the sides and it'll ruin your candle. Your candle will tunnel in the middle. Also remember with candles, to avoid the tunneling, is once you do light it, you need to allow it to burn until it burns all the way to the sides of the jars before you blow it out. Candles have a memory. So if you light it and it's only lit for 5 or 10 minutes and you just get that little hole down the center and you blow it out, the next time you light your candle, that's going to continue. And you're just going to keep on getting a hole going all the way down, tunneling. So every time you burn, make sure that it burns all the way to the sides of the jar so you don't ruin your candle. Now let's say for some reason something happens and your candle, it appears to be screwed up. It's happened to me before. You can dig out the wax around the side of the jar, and you know, if your candle happens to blow out, like let's say you're sitting outside, Citronella candle, it blows out, you don't notice, you go and then you have to relight. You can just dig out the wax until it looks like it's nice and even, and then you can relight after that. That usually will fix the problem. So I'm going to show you guys how to make all kinds of great stuff. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and stick around. Today we made a candle. We will make wax melts. We're going to make lotions. We're going to make body washes and face wash and face cream and bath bombs and bath truffles, and oh my god, the list goes on and on. So stick around. If you guys are enjoying the do-it-yourself, the DIY, and you really want to take on a different hobby during this COVID-19, then definitely hit the subscribe button, guys, and let's have some fun. If you guys have any ideas for any videos that you want to see or anything that you want to know how to make, drop it in the comments below and I'll see if I can help you out. Stick around for the next video. We're going to do a rose water face cream with rose water toner. Have you ever bought face cream? Well, of course, we've all bought face cream. When was the last time you went into the drugstore, went into Walmart or something like that and bought face cream? You see the price of that stuff? It's kind of insane. Anyway, I'm going to show you guys how to make that. So we'll see you guys next time.